Welcome back to Better Living. I'm joined now by Teresa from the Ohio Department of Transportation. You guys get lots of phone calls. What is going on with the roads? Is there construction on 75? Can I get away? I'm sure that you take, well, you don't personally take lots of those phone calls. Or you,
I sure do.
You do, actually?
I do, yes, I do.
Well, tell us, let's first talk about some project updates. I know, it's 475 here, right? I always get confused. I came from Dayton, and it's 675 there, and so I get very confused. I often say the wrong road. 475, there was all the construction on 475. Give us some project updates of the big construction zones.
Well, in fact, today as I was driving here, I noticed that they were putting down asphalt, and they're actually going to be changing the northbound lane. So when you go through that zone, expect some big changes overnight tonight into tomorrow, because just the traffic patterns are going to change. There's no lane restrictions except for overnight, but tomorrow when you head into work,
be a little different.
Things are going to be a little bit different, so you have to expect that. And that's the same with all of our zones. We want everybody to be safe, and I'm sure you have noticed, and everybody else out there, you got to slow down.
Well, and let's talk about that. Safety, I mean, safety is an issue on the roads, period, but safety in work zones is such a big issue any time of year, but especially this time of year as we deal with the hazards that are caused because of the weather on top of it.
Yeah, we have been planning not only for this construction, and that takes time within itself, but how to deal with it when we have these active work zones in the winter. And I think one of the big messages that we're trying to get across to people is to slow down, be aware that things are going to be changing throughout the winter. We're going to have these traffic pattern changes not only on 475, but 75 as well, where we saw an incident this morning because we've got a busy work zone and drivers sometimes don't pay as much attention. Put down your cell phone and just focus on what you're doing. And in fact, we have really started to work with the Highway Patrol. We've been working with them even before construction to try to get them ready to say, hey, we've got to make safety number one. What can you do to help us out? So we've been working active with not only the Highway Patrol, but other agencies as well, other local departments, just because there is so much work and it's so important to us for everybody out there to be safe.
Well, you mentioned the cell phones, and that was going to be my next question. I think that's the biggest, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm not guilty sometimes too. I think we all are guilty of, you hear the phone go off, you pick it up to see what it is, and maybe it's answering a text message, maybe it's just picking it up because it rang, and you know, 80% of the cars now have the Bluetooth where we don't need to do that, but how, we hear it all the time. Obviously, it's not getting through. What can we do to get people to put away the cell phones? Can we enact I drove through New York last summer, or a couple summers ago, and they will pull you over if they see the cell phone out, and you will get ticketed. And they have big signs everywhere that say, you know, it's illegal. Do we need to go that far? What can we do?
No, in the state of Ohio, you know, it's not a law yet, but I think it's important for everybody just to take responsibility for what you do. I know my own children, I tell them, do not let mommy text and drive. So that is a huge help. But when I'm by myself, I just put my phones away and don't look at them. I guess from me and from where I come from where I work, on a daily basis, I see so many incidents of people's lives being impacted. So just remember that next time you have your phone with you is that, hey, I could be putting someone's life in danger, or someone, you know, relatives, friends, children. You really just have to keep that in mind, that what you do can have such a big impact on other people's lives. So it's important. Just put down the phone. It's, you know, it's a matter of life and death. Just drive.
It really,
it's simple.
Just a matter, it's a matter of life and death. It just takes a second. It really just takes a second. So we are entering that time of year where there's snow, there's black ice, there's all these. Where can we go to get current road conditions? Is there an 800 number we can call for ODOT? Can we go to ODOT's website? Where can we go? Actually,
we've got a great website called ogo.com, which has up-to-date traffic information. It has traffic speed. So like this morning on I-75, you could have saw, hey, check before you go. Obviously, as I said before, put down your cell phones. But you can see how traffic is flowing through the areas if it's slowed down. So that's something you can do every morning, make it a practice. There are also, we have our new message boards for the freeway management system that say how many miles to this, so that you can change your route along the interstate system. And then we also have live cameras too, which are a great help to everybody. So just check that before you head out, and just know, obviously, media outlets are a great way to get information as well. And we do have social media, Twitter, Twitter, but again, we advise everybody to do that before you leave. But ogo.com, great website and a great place to go for information.
Well, it's a good place to go too before you go traveling for the holidays. I think a lot of people do that before I head to my parents in Kentucky. I always check that to see what the roads are going to be like on my way there. Is there anything big we need to know about that's on the horizon for our area as far as roadways go, as far as construction goes?
Just be aware that things are going to be changing throughout our work zones. Just be aware, like for tomorrow on 475, that'll be a big deal in the morning, and just to pay attention. And with ice and snow, I mean, it's already happened. We've had a couple of events, but we are really gearing up for what's going to happen in these work zones as we pass through, and we'll have more time to talk about that later on. But we will be out there doing our job, but it's up to drivers to do theirs.
And the message is just slow down and pay attention.
I say it every year, and people get sick of me saying it. My husband makes fun of me for saying it. Everybody says, you know, hey, Teresa Pollick, what do you say? Ice and snow, take it slow.
That is a good message. Ice and slow. Ice and snow, take it slow. Apparently, I need to say it slower so I can say it correctly. Well, Teresa's going to come on with us every couple weeks and keep us updated on what is going on in our roadways and what ODOT is doing. So we will look forward to that. We'll be right back on Better Living.